How long have you been a member of Hope?
57 years now.
35 years.
Well, because I have been a member of Hope all my life, I began in first confirmation class. So that was back in 27, I think. And as long as I am in Toledo, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
And so how many years do you think you've been a member?
Since 1927.
And, we have stayed because there's so many wonderful Christian people. We've enjoyed the pastors and the leadership. We've had wonderful leadership, and we feel that that's all part of what makes Hope what it is today.
And why have you remained a member at Hope for so long?
Probably because of the pastors and also, of course, of the friendly people.
Well, it's just my home. I have known everyone since the beginning, and my family knew all the other early members, so it's just been a very comfortable, happy, impressive place.
And are there any other things that you would enjoy about Hope other than those ones you just talked about?
Well, I enjoy the children.
Okay.
And the young teen age kids, and it's been so wonderful watching them grow.
Why do you support Hope financially?
The thing about that is that when you're young, you may not be able to support the church as well. And I started actually when I was 12. I went to a church camp, and I can't say enough for church camps. I wish we had a definite association, because I decided while I was at church camp that actually I wanted to be a missionary, and I wanted to be a nurse. And my whole life was geared that way.
And you became a nurse.
And that was through the church camp and the relationships, and I also learned to give 10 cents out of my dollar when I was babysitting, because that's when I started feeling that 10% of my money, and I had a sister that liked to spend money, but I always had money, and more, than she did, because I always had that 10% that I gave, and I was kind of frugal. But I feel that as you gain in age and responsibilities, then you're helping those young people to support the church too, because you're doing part of that they can't quite do yet. And I think that's very important. You're not just supporting the church, you're supporting the other givers.
Well, they need to be supported. How else are we going to go on in the future if we don't support our present operation and keep it running well?
Well, I know that if we're going to carry out the program the good that we wish to do, we have to have finances. And when it gets down to how much should you volunteer, my answer would be you ask God to guide you. And you know what? He will.
How has Hope changed your life?
I believe it has changed my life in two ways. For one thing, I have learned the value of a good, intense Bible study, and I have found that here. And I have also learned over the years that to really pray is not to give a prayer that you've learned since you were a kid and you don't have to think about it when you say it. I have learned that to pray is to talk to God and listen, and He will get an answer.